States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes of the council meeting of July 18th?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Are there any additions or corrections?
The date on there that says September will be changed for all the minutes. It was really June.
Other than that date, are there any additions or corrections?
Well, it was July, not June.
No, it was June 20th and June 29th.
Right.
Our regular
Excuse me.
meeting and our second meeting, our special meeting.
Gotcha, yeah.
So, because those are the minutes from the last time.
Right, okay.
I make a motion to approve the minutes
Been moved by Rose,
I'll second it.
second by Stewart,
with the corrections, I guess.
with correction. Questions? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Request to be out of state between now and June 22nd, or August 22nd. Hey, unfinished business, got a wastewater treatment plant update. Kevin's not here. We do have a pay request later on in this new business.
give us an update? Mike, can you?
What's that? William Brothers is off site as of last Wednesday, I believe, was the day they got everything out of there. Everything on the punch list got done. Everything out there is running pretty good. We started pumping water from the lagoon to the drying beds this week, and some last week. So lagoon's getting pretty small, still a ways to go. Last little bit's gonna be hard, I think we have a little groundwater coming in, so, but we're still waiting, slowing down. I think that's it out there. We did, one thing that quite good to know, the problem with the lift station, not pumping enough water. I think we got that resolved. It was just, I think when they first put it online, there was low flows going through it, because we only had one sewer line hooked to it, and the way those pipes were put together, they're welded, there's bead in there, and at low velocities, it was collecting wet wipes and grease, and we hooked that big diesel pump up to it and blew it out. Now it's pumping what it was designed to do, the lift station is, so that was good. I think that's about it.
So it'll do better with the higher flow then?
Yeah, we're able to get 1,200 gallons a minute out of it now.
Good.
Before we could only get like 920, 930, so pretty good increase. I think that's about it out there. We've got a West Tech guy coming out at the end of the month, to flow test the ditch. We still have some issues with West Tech in regards to the programming. Last week they finally got it so they could, we put a new component in the panel, and now I think they can remote in so they can do programming changes. They haven't done it yet, but other than that, it's going really good. It's working well. I encourage everybody to come out and take a tour. So.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
New business in your pamphlet, or nobody has available to you, a pay request number 22 for Williams Brothers Construction.
Actually, Jack, can I just correct that? It's 19, it's 22, and in the draw request, it's 19 for Williams, so just so that's in the minutes, it's really
Okay.
19.
Can I have a motion to pay?
Well, I just have a question. Oh, I'm gonna make a motion first.
Yes.
Thanks.
I move that we approve the pay request for Williams Brothers Construction. Pay request 19.
Moved by Stewart, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rose. Now
No, they're not.
And so that's been taken out of this request, is that?
That they're still not, we still don't know exactly what all has to be done to finish that road or bill. There, Mike can explain it better than I can, but there's
They're
pieces in
just
that that
arguing
don't
over
fit.
who's gonna pay for the corrections. The pieces that were made don't fit. And it's basically gonna come down to an argument between Dow, Williams Brothers, and the fabricator about whose fault it was that they didn't get. There was some questions about a drawing being, I don't know, I think we just, let them hammer it out.
Okay.
Is there other questions? Time to ask them.
Yeah, no, so it's not like this is, includes 100% of the line items. So they've done everything that they've needed to do, I guess, of all the line items and the checklist, punch list.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at this. I mean, I think, did he hold out for the motors? Held out for the clarifiers. Was there anything else he held out for? Was that-
Motors.
Some retainage.
Yeah.
Retainage held out.
Retains, so yeah, I mean, the motor issue, you know, I don't know how that's gonna go, but it's not resolved yet, so.
Okay,
um,
all right. I'm good.
How much was the total pay request?
Is that right there?
Let's see, we got taxes going to the Department of Revenue for $6,478.46, and the pay request is $641,367.64.
This is the last one?
There will be one small one left, just the, whatever the retainage is, the
Right.
retainages that are there, so there'll be, this is the big one,
This is the last big one.
yeah.
This is the last big one, yeah.
Is that
There'll be some other.
41 was retained?
Yeah,
That includes the retainage, yeah.
Mhm.
The original request was 795, okay,
CDLBs.
alrighty.
That was all held out, right?
Yeah.
Further questions? Questions? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item, vote on the first reading of ordinance 314, our land use ordinance. That's in your packet. This is basically stating that Choteau will follow the federal guidelines for promotion of health, safety, morale, and general welfare of the community. May I have a motion to accept that on our first reading?
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance number 314.
Do we have a second?
I will second.
Second by Rose. Questions?
So, no, I'm good.
Question? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a vote on authorization to sign a quick claim deed for Dustin Lee, Berkeley, and Beeler. In your pamphlet, you will find a quick explanation of the reason for this action, and the deed itself. Basically, what it states is, years and years ago, the city was, with the Sherborne addition, the city acquired an alley. We ran our sewer down that alley. On the west side of that alley is a strip of land that was not included in quitclaim. property itself. What the city is being asked to do is sign a quit claim deed on any properties west of our own property, saying we don't own any of that land. Period.
How far is it west of the center line of the alley, is the property?
The alley's 12 feet.
No, the alley is,
About 50 feet.
So
isn't
you
it?
get
Yes,
about
it's
50
about
foot
50
of that
feet.
land to the west of the alley is
West
the
of
question.
the alley.
But, so that would just bring it back to where it's 6 feet from the center line.
Exactly.
You see a problem? Do you see any problems with that?
No, I mean, we push a lot of that snow out in that field.
Mhm.
You know, like, I guess it's nice to be able to do that. And I always figured we were just pushing it out onto Ray Anderson anyway. But,
Ray was okay with that.
Right.
We don't know if new owners will be or not.
well, we'll figure it out.
Basically what it comes down to, they didn't put the alley on the line where it should have been. So it's not what, between city limits and the alley, the alley was the track they had down there, and that's what they followed. Joey's lot,
Ray's been farming it for 50 years.
you could have a bigger lot and paid more taxes.
I should have. Dang it.
If they'd put it where they should have.
I'm good with what I got.
I would entertain a motion.
I will motion that we approve the quit claim deed, proposed by Justin Lee for Berkeley and Beamer.
I'll second.
Second by Jill.
Mhm.
Any questions now? I think Mike answered my question, is what are we gonna do with snow removal and stuff? That's probably gonna be up to the new owners, or whoever that may be. The city, by having the sewer line in there, is prescribed easement, so I think the city's protected with this. Any other questions? Questions?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is a vote on authorization to place delinquent water charges on our property taxes. In the back of your pamphlet, you'll see that explanation. I will let Jody explain that. It's a little easier when she explains it than when I try to muddle through it.
There's 6, by law, there are 6 people that are having trouble with their water bills. And we have sent them letters notifying them that we were gonna place that on their property taxes. That gets them caught up. Sometimes they get too far. They just can't catch up. And so this is an avenue that we can take to collect the delinquent water charges. That makes it so, it just can't get too high. And there are a few that they just can't pay or don't pay.
But they still get a monthly bill.
Yes, this will just take what
This will
is
just
on
take-
there as of June 30th,
Oh.
just water, not garbage,
Right.
and that will go on their taxes. They will continue to get a bill, this will just remove a portion of their bill.
Or back one cent.
So if
Right.
did they respond to the letter and say they haven't?
None of them responded?
None of them, and they were sent certified and they did sign it. No response.
I'll make a motion to authorize placement of delinquent water charges on property taxes.
And I will second it.
Moved by Dan and seconded by Rose. Questions? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is claims. Has everybody got a chance to look at the claims
Yeah.
presented?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would entertain a motion on that also.
I move we pay the claims.
I'll second.
Okay,
No, and I just have one.
I thought you had a hanging.
No, I just have one minor question. So we went from paying the attorney
Monthly to biannually.
Annually, yeah. And I guess that was in the thing.
It was in the contract, that's what she wanted instead of monthly.
Okay.
Who made the motion? Sorry.
Dan,
Stuart.
Or Stuart and Jill. Was one above.
They're, all of the contracts that we have are now biannual instead of
Monthly.
monthly.
Any questions? Any further questions? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Don't have a park and recs. Mike, you got a,
I didn't get one printed out today, a report. I can kind of run through things off the top of my head. The sewer plant, I went through, we fixed a big water leak today by the school, and hopefully that will make our water use go down a little bit, because it was a pretty substantial leak.
Is that one of the newer lines?
That was actually, it's on the south side of the elementary, and it was a cobbled up mess in there. At some point, you know, a long time ago, they couldn't put a 2-inch tap in a line, so they would put like, at this one, they had 4 1-inch taps on it. And then it comes out into a thing that looks like a turkey foot or something, and it all goes into a 2-inch line, and there'd been a leak in there before, saddle, and somebody went in and replaced 2 of them fairly recently. Paint was still good on them. There's a leak there and it wore through the pipe pretty good. And then one of the old saddles had come off. So we cut that whole section of pipe out, took the turkey track thing out, put a 2-inch tap in, and then put welded plastic all the way. And put a curb stop in so they didn't have. And so that's what, we've been using. I don't have the water report with me. July, we used a lot of water, so, I don't have the totals on that. Our loss was still probably up there around 30%. Parks are going good. Street stuff, I've been talking about trying to figure out a way that we can kind of rehab some of these streets that are really bad. I think we're moving forward with a pretty good plan. Found a piece of equipment we can get, that will literally grind the streets up. Just like you see on the highways, it'll chew it up to a 3/4 smaller size. We can inject oil into it or emulsion while we're doing it. And then grade it and roll it out, and it should be, you know, we'll be able to recycle all the material, and that's the expensive part. And it'll vary in some places where the roads are really thin, it's not gonna work as good. But, where the roads are really thick, like by the school, that chip seal in there was a foot thick.
Wow.
So that'll work good. And that machine will chew that up. I found a machine in Denver that's used. It's only got 123 hours on it. And it's a pretty good price. Hopefully it's still there. Jody's working on a grant so that we can get it for a whole lot less money than, it's cost for, the machine new is 116, by the time you get there it's 120. This one's only 40, and I think the grant's 22,000, so it's only gonna cost the city 18 to get it. With that, we're gonna do some other things. We have to rebuild the motor in the loader, which was coming anyway, cause it wore out, cause that'll mount on the loader, we'll use that more. And it'd be nice to get a wide roller in order to do it right, but I think once we get those tools, we should be able to, chew up some of these bad places, you know, get them graded so they drain, roll them, and then if we don't have enough material, then we can chip seal on top of that and have something that will hopefully hold up. And, you know, cause the chip seal, a lot of these roads that we have now, where we don't have drainage, in 2 or 3 years, we're gonna look just the same. So, I think that's about it. We're still moving forward with the sure I'm forgetting stuff, but that's it for now. We had a lot of water hookups lately and sewer hookups.
Good.
We hooked up redid 3 or 4 services for water and a new sewer hookup yesterday, so.
So I have a question on the water thing, like what's going on with that situation up on the hill below the golf course? Like anything,
We're
that spring or whatever,
Oh, the spring, it's all gone.
Wasn't this
for now?
No, it's cured. It wasn't a spring, it was a water leak. We dug it up and fixed it.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. Okay.
It wasn't, it was a man-made spring.
Okay.
Funded by the city of Choteau.
Okay.
So, no, we fixed that last year.
Okay, I guess I.
It had just been there for what, 40 years, right?
Just a while.
So, no, that's.
Yeah, they fixed it once, but then it works.
So then you
Yeah.
think we're still at 30% loss on the water, or not loss, but?
Well, I think, when we do the numbers for July, they'll probably show less, mainly because, we leak, X amount of water, and then in July, when everybody's watering yards, we use a whole bunch more, so the leak becomes a smaller percentage, if that makes sense. But we still have basically an average 30%, and we'll see after this one, that was a big leak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was.
Okay, so after that, it might.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as good a leak as, that was a 1-inch line leaking, like full bore, so.
Good.
A lot of water.
Good.
Thank you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We have a guest tonight, Jody DeRocher, Jody Rogers is our finance director.
Okay, I've
Can't
been
even
in other
see,
meetings,
so-
it just isn't that I'm not here. We did get the assessments and, from the Department of Revenue, Monday. The mills did go up slightly, they were 240, or 2,043, I think last year, this year they're 2,060 per mill. I will be recommending that there's no increases this year on anything. I think we're okay. We're gonna have to, depending on what Northwestern Energy does with their taxes, on our street lights, we may end up having to do something next year. He told me just electricity and that alone to budget a 10% increase on our gas and electric. A lot of that is taxes. They now pass those on. There's we can't control that, for now. I think we're sitting okay. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know what that'll mean, cause I don't know what they got for taxes. And Scott Patera retired, so we'll see.
Do we know the replacement?
Yeah, I was introduced to her, but it was a while ago and I don't remember the name, sorry.
Okay.
The TA grant, it's not a grant, whatever they wanna call it, sidewalk project that we did apply for, that, Great West, we did last fall, we got.
Oh, we got it?
We did, I did get a call from Dave Pauline yesterday, he is from DOT, and he said we scored very, very well. We were one of the top scored. They had 43 applicants, and we were one of the top, and they did fund 15. So that was good. It's quite a process. It doesn't sound like we'll probably be breaking ground for almost a year, because it's quite there's a lot of hoops.
But that's not too off of what the West guys were saying.
No, it isn't. I kind of pushed and was hoping to do it this next spring to summer, and he said I could think that way, but that probably wasn't gonna be the case. It is a pretty simple project, so he said there was a small possibility that we could maybe go by next fall, but he didn't really think so. There's a lot more hoops that we need to jump through dealing with them. A lot of that's federal money. It's kind of like rural development, so. I went to a meeting in Great Falls today. It was MMIA, local government, and the league, the cities and towns, and they also brought in the governor's main department heads. And I did actually get some good contacts and had a conversation from the deputy director of DEQ on a few things. He wanted you to call Mike on possibly some ideas on the lagoon, thinking outside the box. And also some pretty good contacts for the Port Authority, the Chamber, and for us as far as a lot of other things. That it was a very informative, very good meeting. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Jordan. Stuart? I don't think I have anything. Dan?
No, I'm good.
Jill?
I don't have anything?
Rose?
Nothing,
I don't either. Make that really simple.
okay.
Got zoning report, permits, Lisa Piper, Jesse Collier, and Chad Peebles had fences put up. We'll open it up for public comment. So if anybody's got anything to say, Mark, thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it. I got a comment. Noise procedure.
So on the vote for ordinance number 314, is there gonna be like a public, are you guys gonna answer questions publicly about that? Or is it just gonna be a vote and
There'll be a public hearing at the next meeting.
there will be a public hearing at the
Yes.
next meeting on it? Okay, all right. Can I just ask a quick question? Maybe you have time between now and the next meeting, but which one of you guys have read the 180,000 pages of the Code of Federal Regulations? None of you have read the 180,000 code?
I've read a
Pages.
few of them, but
There's 100, so,
not all of them.
so you just voted tonight, but you really don't know what you voted on? Is that safe to say? Okay, I'm just curious, because how do you know what you're voting on if you haven't read the 180,000 pages of the federal code? How many people are gonna make in Choteau criminals by saying we're gonna stick to these 180,000 pages of code? I mean, this is the same federal government that's throwing people in jail for making websites and for selling salve, basically, natural salve. So I think it's a little, if you wanna take away people's freedom to smoke a plant, then just do it. You know, you've got the guns. You don't have to jump through these stupid hoops and just like you're the blind leading the blind. I think that maybe before you vote on it next week, you guys should split up and read everything so you know what you're signing everyone up for in the city of Choteau. That's it.
Anybody else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Moved by Rose,
I'll second.
seconded by Jill. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned, 7:29.
So like, what did you say?
Oh, well, there's 180,000 pages in the code of federal regulations, and they're voting to make sure everybody in Chotau's land use.
Have a good day.
We appreciate that much of that goes for
Well, yeah.
Tomorrow.
No one knows what-
Are you going to,
Yeah, but no one
Just a
knows.
sec.
I'm still gonna say
Yes.
stuff.
That's why people
Okay.
are spinning